Many years ago, someone asked Jesus a question. He says, what is the greatest commandment of God? What is the greatest law? And the answer Jesus gave was very, very, very interesting. In Matthew 22, 35 to 40, the story is there. He says to the man, he says, in 37, he says, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. But the second law is like unto the first, which means the second law I'm about to give you is the same thing as the first law I have just given you. And the second, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophet. So I began to ponder on this law. But if you study John in 1 John 4:20 explains what Jesus was trying to say to a certain extent. He says, if a man say, I love God, and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he had not seen? Indirectly saying the same thing that Jesus said. The first commandment is to love God, but the second commandment means the same thing. Love thy neighbor as you love yourself. But you must observe something. Jesus went further. He says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. This is because you cannot give what you don't have. So the greatest law is to love God, but you can't do it without loving your neighbor. But you cannot love your neighbor without loving yourself. Now, the greatest law in life is that you must love yourself. This law governs so many things. Governs your career, your relationships, it should govern your decisions. Everything you do must be out of love for yourself. Every single thing. The career you choose, what you choose to do with your life, if you choose to stay in a job or not, has to be out of love for yourself. It governs your relationship. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes when it comes to relationships. They stay in relationships that from the beginning they know this is going to hurt them. If only they love themselves, they would have walked out at the right time. If you love yourself, then you can be able to be a good judge of who really loves you. Because nobody can entice you with something less than what you give yourself. So for you to get true love easily, you must be able to give yourself true love. That way you can be able to identify true love when it comes. Many people are going to meet the nice person, the person who should be meant for them, but because they've not learned to love themselves, they can't love that person, and they keep making mistakes till they push the person away. Many people will stay in a job that might kill them and destroy their health just because they couldn't prioritize themselves. They couldn't love themselves. This law governs every single thing that we are supposed to do on this earth. If you do not love yourself, you're going to make decisions that will hurt you. You're going to eat foods that will hurt you. You're going to develop habits that will hurt you. One of the biggest problems of the mind, depression, is centered on the lack of love. Many people are depressed because they feel people don't love them. But they don't really understand that the problem is how they see themselves. If they love themselves, the love that matters most is the one you have for yourself. You allow nothing. It's easier to get deceived. It's easier to get distracted when you don't love yourself. It's easier for a television ad to put pressure on you to do unspeakable things just to get that product, because you've not learned to love yourself no matter what. Whether you have the new shoe, or you have the new job you're looking for, or you have the car of your dream or not, you learn to love yourself no matter what. Nothing can put pressure on you that way. People are depressed because they hate their situation, because they hate who they are when they look at the mirror. But if they learn that no matter what, no matter my situation, no matter where I am, I must always love myself, it's hard to get depressed. This single law governs every single thing that we are supposed to do. This is the greatest commandment and the greatest law of life, that you must love yourself.